Greetings, 大家好. My name is Joe. If you have been in or are on my channel, hopefully you've been enjoying some of my covers and arrangements on my instruments. You probably noticed that I have a number of different Chinese instruments. The erhu, which is the Chinese violin, the zhongran, which is the round moon guitar Chinese lute, another Chinese lute called the pipa, which is played upright, and the xiao bamboo flute. Some people might be wondering or interested in purchasing Chinese musical instruments, but are not quite sure how to go about that process, what are the challenges with it, what are the risks associated with that. And there are some things that a person should keep in mind, but it's the only option that many people may end up having in the first place is to buy instruments from overseas, like myself. So I got my erhu from a website called shoppingchinanow.com. Great name. I actually got two erhu from that website, and they came with a Dizi flute each time. And those were generally priced at between 20 to 30 bucks, American dollars. I got my zhongran from orientalmusic.org. Really nice instrument website. They also have video samples of lots of their instruments as well, which is a great resource to have for people who need to buy instruments overseas, for example. I got my pipa from soundofasia.com, and I got my xiao from isanmusic.org, really popular website and store that sells Chinese musical instruments, based in Singapore also. So my xiao was about $80 before shipping. My zhongran was $200 before shipping, and about $150 for my first erhu, $300 for the second, and then for the pipa it was about $250 before shipping. And the pipa I actually got from within the U.S. and shipping wasn't too bad, but the instrument was more expensive than it should have been. There's also Chinese-instrument.com that sells. I haven't really used them, but they seem like a pretty okay website. And there's also redmusicshop.com, taobao.com. So those instruments the sellers are in China, and so you can use, if you have the Chinese currency, you can use that to purchase those instruments, and the value will be the same or better for the same or cheaper price as those websites that are selling to mainly non-native or Westerner audiences. There's also yoibai.com, which is a partner with taobao.com, and it actually lets you purchase instruments pretty much within the same market for American dollars. Challenges with purchasing instruments from overseas. There's a few things that you should look out for. First, if you can buy one in person, do that, because there is no replacement for being able to play an instrument and hear how it sounds in person, rather than playing it after you've already purchased it and it's been shipped to you. If you know somebody or have a friend that is native to a certain country or native to China or travels back every once in a while, maybe a student, you can have them go to China and get it for you and just give them the money when you get back. If you come to the point of needing to use websites, that's perfectly fine. A lot of people do it anyway. And you still have a lot of great options, and there are trusted dealers out there that you can go to for those instruments. Pay attention to the language that the seller uses on their website. So does it seem like that seller specializes in that type of instrument, or do they sell a lot of different other types of things, refrigerators and stoves? Generally the more trusted ones are the ones that the one that have a specialty in Chinese instruments. Okay, so there's the seller calling the $100 erhu professional, as well as the $700 erhu. Just pay attention to things like that. Also, many sellers will already do this, but if you're buying an erhu, for example, and it needs to get shipped, and it'll need to have like a site certificate, Convention on International Trade of Endangered Species certificate. So you need that for the Border Patrol, because they'll be checking for that. But the dealer should send that along with the erhu when it's delivered to you. You also should check that you can get the item in a decent amount of time. Some sellers are pretty quick with the delivery of their products. We're talking about like within a week, if you're lucky. Some of them may take over a month. So just be mindful of that prior to purchasing, so you don't get surprised that it's coming 2 months later than you expected. But whatever the seller says and whatever range of time they give you, that'll generally be the case for you. So certainly ask around other people that have instruments, where they got them from. Can they refer any websites to you? I gave you a few of the websites I use. If you have any of your own that you found pretty helpful, or any other tips for purchasing Chinese instruments or instruments in general from overseas or distance, feel free to post those below. Hope this has been at least somewhat informational for you, and we'll see you around next time. Take care.